Fanfic Corner, presented by Jennifer. Hogwarts Rebels, Chapter 20, Trust. Okay, for those of you who have not yet seen the first few videos for Hogwarts Rebels, I suggest you go view those now, as this is a continuation of that story. Sabine sat on the rooftop drawing pad in hand as well as a pencil. She slipped away from the family for some alone time. Her parents told her not to go on the roof without them for safety reasons, but she spent 3 years at an orphanage where she had to manage herself, so she was pretty sure she could look after herself. Sabine sighed and looked up at the falcon that was circling above her. She'd been drawing its silhouette against the moon for the past half an hour. With a smile, she rested her pad and pencil on her lap and leaned back on her hands, knees bent as she closed her eyes and let the gentle breeze play with her hair. Sabine? The girl's eyes snapped open, and she looked over to see Callus halfway out the trapdoor. Callus, hey, Sabine greeted. What are you doing out here? The man asked, walking over to his niece. Catching a breath of air, Sabine replied as he sat beside her. Also escaping Ezra while I can. He's trouble, is he? Callus asked with a grin. Not always, Sabine smiled. The two looked out to the forest peacefully. Callus glanced over at the drawing pad. Is that a falcon? He asked. Sabine, who really didn't like sharing her art, clutched her pad with a nod. It's amazing, Callus told her. A faint blush appeared in Sabine's cheeks. Thanks, she muttered. Callus reached inside his jacket pocket and unfolded a piece of paper. Take a look at this, he said, passing it to the girl. Sabine took it and looked at it with surprise. An amazing drawing of a dark wolf howling to the moon on a cliff was on the paper. Wow, that's amazing, Sabine said, staring. Thanks. I drew it the other day, Callus told her. Do you think you could teach me some of these skills? I've never been perfect at shading or thin details. Of course, Callus smiled. Sabine handed him the drawing. Oh, you keep it. It could come in useful. Oh, wow, thanks, Sabine smiled. Don't mention it. The falcon suddenly landed in a tree near the two. Sabine watched it with fascination as the bird of prey ruffled its feathers and began preening. Notice the sharpness of its beak? Callus whispered. They use their beaks like we might use a knife and fork, to cut their food, to eat, and to feed their young. Apparently, falcons have the capability of taking down a deer. Seriously? Sabine whispered in surprise. Oh yeah, falcons are well-adapted birds of prey. Sabine hesitated before shuffling a little closer to Callus. He smiled and put an arm around her. You know, you shouldn't be up here alone, he told her as the bird took off into the air. Not the first time I've heard that. Sabine rolled her eyes with a smile. Callus rubbed her arm in an affectionate way before they both looked out to the sunset. The falcon flying out of the forest against the burning stars.